Hello, and welcome back to Making It Metan as we wrap up the repair to our Boston Whaler 420 outrage. Before we jump into the last few phases of this project, which is the bottom system, assembly, detail, and shrink wrap so it's ready for its voyage back to Texas, let's start with a quick recap. It started with you seeing us dismantle and cut out half the interior, complete the inner hull repair, and put it all back together like we were never there. You then saw us fill a hole in the side of the boat you can drive a small car through. Witness Scotty Van Boezelstein pull off some of his amazing bodywork on the forward bow section. Leading into our last episode with our killer all-grip paint job, finished off with so much Metan glass, you can count your nose hairs in it.
Look at this, two Van Boezelsteins.
With that completed, we moved into what we would consider the final phases of the project, one of which is the application of the bottom system. We kept the bottom covered throughout the whole coating process, whether we were gel coating, priming, or painting. We prepped the bottom surfaces along with the other surfaces, all prepping for the final coating process. Well, the bottom system is the final coating process of the bottom surfaces, so we wanted to keep it clean and prepped right up to this point. We use two products by Seahawk Coatings for the bottom system. The first is a primer called Tough Stuff. The other is their Color Coat multi-season bottom paint. Tough Stuff is a two-part epoxy-based primer which gives the hull 100% water barrier that protects the surfaces from moisture and water penetration, protecting from future blisters. The bottom paint is a newer product for them called Color Coat, which is an ablative paint. More layman's term, self-polishing, kind of like a bar of soap. As the bottom surfaces comes in contact with the running water, thin layer of bottom paint is removed, taking the beginnings of any growth with it. For the boats that may end up staying at the mooring or tied up at the dock for an extended period of time, they incorporated 3 biocides into the product. For years, we used a True Coat product that used the same ablative technology with only 1 biocide, and the stuff worked brilliantly. So one could only expect even better results with this product over time. The application of the bottom system begins with masking off the waterline. We started by running the waterline using 3M blue vinyl tape. This will leave us a nice crisp edge as we roll our last coat of bottom paint after the application of our primer coat. We then stepped 1-inch 3M 233 plus masking tape down about 1/4 inch. We do this to cover up our primer edge as so you don't see the change in colors between the bottom paint and the primer. The men applied 3 coats of Tough Stuff primer, letting the last coat dry just until you can leave a thumbprint. They then removed the 1-inch tape, revealing the blue vinyl tape, which will be our final edge on the application of our bottom paint. They immediately began the application of the bottom paint, which consists of 3 rolled coats. The great thing about ablative bottom systems is the recoating process. Be sure to give the bottom a good pressure wash after each season of use. Will leave you the surface where, you may have to scuff a few areas here and there, but the surface will be ready to accept a fresh coat of bottom paint after a little prep and proper maintenance. Now that the bottom paint system is done, it's time to get the boat back together, detailed, which will be a little bit of both going on at the same time. Well, even though we had a good amount of the interior already back together prior to paint, we needed to hook back up the electrical as well as the entertainment center prior to installing the refrigerator, microwave, and the rest of our interior components. We quickly completed those tasks and immediately began to see light at the end of the tunnel with the completion of our interior. And we excitedly moved on to the exterior hardware, starting with the rub rail install. And who better of a person to do that than our elder in the group, and that is Mr. Gary Wilson. A little background on Mr. Wilson. At 16 years old, he went to work for this boat building company in Rockland, Massachusetts, called, you guessed it, Boston Whaler. By the time Gary was 20 years old, he was the lead fabricator for the government and commercial division of Boston Whaler. So needless to say, he's installed a few rub rails on whalers in his time. However, even he'll tell you, back then, they didn't use hard, rigid rub rails like they use today. Most of the rub rails back then were in fact rubber, hence rub rail. No, that's fake news, but it sounded good, didn't it? The rubber rub rails were and are a lot easier to install than today's rigid vinyl rub rails. Rigid are more difficult making bends that you need to heat the product up, so it makes those bends, ensuring it looks factory. So what better person than the man himself, Gary Wilson? The rigid rub rail sections come in 20-foot sections and very much need two people working together closely, as well as your fair share of jigs to hold it in place. Because as you heat the rub rail sections to make these bends, any pressure in the wrong direction will warp or distort beyond repair. Working with Joe, Gary went around the perimeter and installed the rigid sections to the hull to deck joint. After being sure all these joints were flush smooth, he then began the installation to his 1-inch stainless insert, which we'll absolutely thank Boston Whaler for providing us the two aft sections. Pre-bent for Boston Whaler by their rub rail manufacturer, Barbour Plastic Products, which is in fact only a few towns away from here in Brockton, Massachusetts. The gentleman that runs that division is Mark Demers. He's known as the rub rail guy. The number of manufacturers that use their product is too long to list. Mark's been providing Metan's rub rail products for our restorations for the last 20 years, as well as providing the rub rails for our Metan Classic collections. Yes, this was a little plug for Mark, who deserves it, that he's truly an expert with the product that he's provided the industry for decades. Gary finished up the installation of the stainless insert by hand tightening each screw, yes, leaving all perpendicular in position. Hey, that's making it Metan. And speaking of making it Metan, when we return, stay with Gary as he goes through the polishing process of some of the stainless steel components as we work through the assembly of our 420. So stay tuned.
If you like this segment, click right here. If you like this segment and you want to watch the whole episode, click right here.